Okay. I'm gonna keep an eye on that for a minute. I will photo clips lately as we prepare to do these things for. Just really love food. I'm my mother's son. She had a very robust appetite. She never got particularly fat, but she loved food and couldn't turn. I can't either. I can't turn away from food. Even in most other places, if I'm at potluck or something like that, if I eat moderate, it's because feeling pressure to be polite. I would go back for seconds and thirds, if no one's watching. In my vagabond days, where I might go a day or two even without much of anything to eat, and then when I would get a chance to eat, I'd make up for it. So I think some of it's that. I know that's a lot of things behind my mother's appetite. She was raised very, very poor, and they often didn't have much to eat when she was a kid. This even before the National Depression started. Their family was in a depression because of a train wreck, and she didn't have as much to eat. So when she got to where she could eat all she wanted to, she ate all she wanted to, and it was a lot. Fortunately, I could also eat a little and not feel, I could cut way back and manage fine. One time when I went down to Mexico and got my money stolen, and coming back. We forage an awful lot of apples, more than anything else in the fall. Tons and tons of them, and all over the town, and within some of 20, 30 miles from here. One thing, this is a scythe, okay? You need to know that. It's not a golf club. You know what a golf club is? A golf club, you start up here, from what I've seen of people, you come down like that, and like that, you don't do that. This is a scythe. It goes around like this. It stays on the ground all the time. The ground holds it. Your main thing is to guide it around here. That's tip number one. Tip number two is you start hitting your cheek, your right cheek with your right hand, more or less, as much as you can. I'm telling you what you're supposed to do, not what I do. You end up, you swing with your left cheek hitting, left hand hitting your left cheek. And there's a tendency at the end, because of momentum, at the end to go out and go up. And again, it's not a golf club. It should start low and keep low, right tight, just like that. You don't reach in and try to take off a big bunch. You start at the beginning, you take off a couple inches. Again, if this is properly sharp, this would be going right down. And you just advance like a couple inches at a time. But moreover, it's effortless. If you're doing it right, you should be able to do this by the hour and not get too tired. Well, we courted well, and we courted dearly. We'd rock for hours for all the lovers. Here's a tune. May they dance all night to the fiddle and the banjo, just the way we did at the Roseville Fair. And we danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo. I think any of this stuff's going to wilt or fall over.
Yeah, and the heat wave's over.
And the heat's, not transpiring as bad as before.
No,
Okay.
it usually is. You'll get a better drag back and forth, back and forth.
If you go back and forth like
Yeah.
that, I wasn't sure if I should do that or if I should just keep the pressure and just go.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder. I mean, you were intuitively doing what feels easiest and right for you, and you were right on.
Okay.
So I think those Perseid showers are supposed to start sometime in the next week or something. I want to try to be aware of them and watch for them. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, so this is yacon, and for years I heard my Peruvian sister-in-law talk about when she grew up eating yacon. And it sounded really cool, but it's from Peru. It's not going to grow in Maine. And it didn't occur to me at the time that yeah, this is in Peru, near the equator, but it's at 8,000 feet or something. So who knows what the Maine. Anyway, I knew a friend in Western Maine who was growing yacon successfully, so he gave me some plants and I tried it out. So this is it. It's in the sunflower family. It's a composite. It's kind of related to pterosols. So you can see they're branched a bit. They usually tend to be somewhat more, they should be a lot taller than this by this time of year. They're suffering a lot from the drought and some neglect, but they're trying to make up for it. So, okay, here's a nice big hard ones. We'll get 2 of these. Okay, notice what I'm doing. I'm just breaking them off. And incidentally, I'm breaking them off up here to the base of the head. The stuff that's left here, those actually, I think you or someone pointed out the other day, that's actually that's not too bad for food.
Yes.
Further down they are, but so we probably could salvage those using like collards. Okay, so we'll take this one next. Now, the thing I wanted to point out to you, ones that are previously cut off from, like this one here, look, we've got 4 little Brussels sprouts forming here. This, either early in the morning or this time at late time of day is the perfect time to collect seeds like this, because do it in the middle of a hot, dry day and they'll tend to shatter all over the ground. It's hard to get them without losing a lot of them. Sandy, you can help me by holding this. That's one, it seems like a one-person job, but it does help to... Okay, and we get this whole thing here all at once, I think. Yes. Okay, I'm missing very little, thanks to a little help from a friend. This is Brussels sprout seed. I don't even know what variety this is. A neighbor gave this to me. It had some seeds that overwintered in the garden. And so I put it in just for the sake of educational value. Okay. There's lots of fancy machinery for seed harvesting commercially, and we don't need nothing to do with it. Okay, we're getting quite a lot just in this one single plant. Most of these biennials like Brussels sprouts are self-sterile, which means even though they have perfect blossoms with both male and female parts, they will not be pollinate themselves, and which is good genetically for genetic diversity. But it means we have to have at least 2 plants. If we have 1 plant, it might flower like crazy, but you won't get any viable seed from it. So it's good that we've got 5. It'd be better if we had 50, as far as having the genetic diversity. As far as the quantity of seed we need, we got it way back before, almost before we started. Okay, picture each of those being a big Brussels sprout stalk with, there's probably 10 or a dozen seeds or something there from that one little pod. The thing that makes the seed easy to clean is the fact that seed is always, as far as I know, always, no matter what crop, what species you're talking about, is always the densest part of its respective plant. And why is that? The seed is, in my way I look at it, is a combination of the plant's owner's operator manual and its family Bible. It not only tells it what to do next, how to replicate itself, how to make a new rutabaga, how to make all these chemical sugars and stuff, but it also tells it, it's like the family Bible, and its whole genealogy is in there. It has in there the record of everything that ever happened, not only in the history of rutabaga-ness, but in the history of life. Every success and failure of every living thing, going back to the primordial sea, is somehow recorded in those 4 letters, T, G, C, A, adenine, cytosine, guanine, whichever one I forgot to say. In other words, they're encrypted in its DNA, which is why DNA is a circular helix, but it also curls round and round. It's got to get so much bloody information in there. It's got to be stored. It's got to be very, very dense. So it's not just storing nutrients. Basically, a leaf has to take care of today's needs, making of energy for today. A root has got to deal with the immediate future. It's got to store energy and stuff for tomorrow. The seed has got a very, very heavy burden. It has to remember everything that happened in the past and project that forward to everything that might happen in the future. Doing these now, well, I'm threshing them right now by hand. Then we're going to take them out and winnow them. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if there's a little more of a breeze today. There isn't. We're going to make the sun in the fan. I got these pods are all, this is kale seed I'm doing, and I'm scrunching it up in the bag just to get the majority out. And then I scoop it off the top and put it in here. So most of the seed is left behind. See if there's any breeze or not. So you got a little bit of some rutabaga seed here with some pods still left. It's mostly been cleaned, but there's a little bit left in it. And we're going to get that off by a little hand winnowing thing. This is how we do it. And there's little bits of ovules here, some little seed and dust that doesn't come out easily. I'm going to give it a little finer job. You're counting on the disparity in the densities of each material. So there we got it. It's almost up to commercial standards there. It's quite clean. If we put it through a screen to get some of that little finer stuff out, that would improve it a little more. But for our purposes, it's excellent.
No,
What?
they're not blowing out.
Then you get a little harder then.
Oh.
Keep sifting and shaking. And turn it a little more, slightly more like that, but not so much the still seeds spill out. See what you're getting him. See, when you get your face right down in there, it blows better, but on the other hand, you want to make sure you get it tipped so the other stuff, dust flying back in your face. Keep doing it, you're getting it. You're getting it exactly. Painting for gold. Yeah. And occasionally I'll slosh it around a little so there's some of that real fine stuff that's in it. There you go. And I'll do some more. You're largely there. You want to try to get this absolutely. You'd like to get it to commercial standards if possible. Do special painting mills and stuff. Yeah, you're getting it. 99.9% clean already, and you want to go 99.99 if you can.
Melfort what?
Rutabaga.
Rutabaga.
Yeah, that looks about right. We got several times that chain I got from the kale, box kale. Now you have to do the Brussels sprouts. I'll do that one later.